assholes. You are now fucking listening to the Two Clouded Mind Show with Kris.
What would it take for Ryan to suck a dick?
And Ryan.
Oh God, you just coughed all over me.
With special guest appearances, unique games, and contests. Give us a goddamn call. 669-241-2420. Or stalk us like your girlfriends do. On Facebook and Instagram at the Two Clouded Mind Show. Let's get fucking clouded. It's the Two Clouded Mind Show.
Hi, friends.
Yes.
Ryan, you look like shit today.
I do. Like, I don't know if it's the shadows in the room or how just like worn I look.
You look
but
like
I had a rough
you look like
couple
you got
days.
out of bed and the first two things you stepped on, you put on.
You're really not far off. You know what's even more fucked up is I went looking for clothes that looked like I just stepped on them and put them on, and I think I nailed it.
But you don't smell bad, so I mean that's good.
No,
you
it's
got
fresh.
That going for you.
Like showered and clean. It's all good stuff.
Very considerate.
Yeah. Well, I have a track record here.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he's coming.
Not
Dick
being
a
the
couple
smelly
times.
dude, but I definitely bring odors to this house sometimes.
This is a small room too.
Yeah, and the bathroom is right next to you.
Oh, great.
We learned that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we
Talking
did.
about the dry age steak. So we just did a Facebook Live.
YouTube.
YouTube Live.
We were live on YouTube and we were eating Carolina Reaper fudge and a one chip challenge, like the second version of it, I believe.
I heard.
Yeah, Dave heard about
I
this
actually
because
did
I
the
was
one chip
nervous.
challenge 2 years ago.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done no
Sucks.
chips.
Now, let me ask you this: which was worse, going in or coming out?
Coming out for sure, because this time it didn't hit me till 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I chugged that Pepto. I think that
Yeah.
Pepto
Yeah,
kept me.
I told
He
you I was
faked
like,
himself.
It like
out.
Yeah.
like
Just
it
shielded it.
encapsulated it.
Yeah.
line your
And
stomach.
dude,
Like a
2
time
days
bomb?
later, I was like, "Oh my god, oh god."
So I didn't even make it really to the fudge. I was on the fudge end.
That's a
Um,
button. I want that timestamp.
Yeah.
I came in after eating. We were talking previously about the dry aged steak. Well, I don't eat like aged meat all the time, so it fucked my stomach up. And I just came in here and I was like, "Yo, I'm sorry. Everybody's about to get to know me real well. I'm gonna fuck that bathroom up."
Oh no.
And
So
he did.
like having the shits going into something that's gonna be spicy, and then knowing that's gonna cause the same thing was god fucking awful,
Did
bro.
it move it faster through you though?
I don't think I pushed myself as hard with the spiciness. I did, do my part for sure, and it was
Alright.
hot as fuck.
Fun fact:
Speaking of doing their
3
part.
weeks in a row, Ryan, you talked about shit, and I didn't.
Poop jar.
You owe me some money.
Was this a bet?
When we first
Back in
started
the
the podcast, it seemed like all we talked about was our bowel movements and poop and farts.
You talk
Yeah.
about what you know.
Yeah,
Exactly,
pretty
that-
much.
we know a
So we
lot
said we
about
were
that
going to
stuff.
put a jar, like a swear jar, but it was going to be the poop
For the
jar.
poop jar.
So yeah, he owes me
I
some.
like it. I
some-
can
some
create
dollars.
this if you want.
Mm.
I'll make like a really crafty poop jar.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
band
So-
I referenced earlier, they used to go on tour and they had a fart jar, and they would just fart in a jar and then keep capping it up.
Oh my
the
god,
whole
that's
tour.
insane.
And then like at the end of the tour, they would like uncap it, and some like unsuspecting
Victim.
like
yeah.
party members like, hey, it's the end of the tour party, come out. Come out.
Oh my
no.
God.
And here's all our farts.
Boom! The
Yeah.
whole tour's worth of farts for you. Yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
believe it or
Fucking
not,
crazy.
it does retain the smell inside.
Yeah, I'm
the
sure.
jar. I didn't.
They
believe it
actually
at first,
sell
but-
jarred air from different countries.
Oh.
Sell anything.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah, you
when
could sell
open
anything.
it,
I got a
like-
bridge to sell you.
Mhm.
You want to buy it?
Well, think about it. If like you lived in like a highly polluted area and you want to smell like what farmland smells like,
Mhm.
and you're definitely stuck and you'll
Yeah,
never
but-
get the chance
But
to do
you're
it.
paying like $15 for
Yeah, yeah.
A
People,
sniff.
and it might not even be there.
it's pretty accurate.
Yes, or you could just buy a bag of chips.
Yeah, true. True.
Lay's, not
True.
a sponsor.
But anyway,
Whatever.
I'm being rude. I'm being rude. We're both being rude.
Yes.
That handsome gentleman that was just talking a minute
stop.
ago, want to introduce him. This is Dave Carey. Fun fact: when I was in high school, my best friend, his name was Dave Carey.
Yeah?
Weird. So weird.
That's
Not the same person, but hi,
No.
Dave.
Hey, thanks for
Um,
having me, guys.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. Dave is the creator, the owner of DC in the City.
Yes, sir. I am DC in the City.
Is
That's correct.
DC in the City? What is DC in the City all about?
So DC in the City started out just as like my Twitter handle when I first got on Twitter in like '09. I was sleeping on couches, bartending in Manhattan,
Sick.
and I had a laptop. I would come home at 4 a.m. after closing the bar and just like edit stupid little snowboarding videos to music and just like surf Craigslist and read all the misconnection crazy ass things that go on in Manhattan. And I was like, all right, what's this Twitter thing about? Let me get a handle. Let me get on this thing because it was still relatively new at that time. And I'm like, I'm DC. I'm in the city. This isn't gonna really mean anything. It's just a throwaway. So I fucking boop, get in there, start doing it. Like, oh, this Twitter's pretty cool. Da, da, da. And so over the course of time, video editing became more serious in my life and whatever. And I was just like, you know what? Why don't I just stick with DC in the City and just go with that and make it easy on myself? And it turns out that
Because people already know what that is.
well, nobody knew what that. People still don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But, let's be real. But eventually they'll hopefully know.
But
what
more
it is.
and more
like,
every
but
day,
The point
dude.
is,
Yeah.
right? Like now, people refer to me who I'm meeting now refer to me as DC. Like my friends and family are they call me Dave. Like, but now people will refer to me as DC, and that's sort of like affirmation that my actual business, my brand is performing, is actually thriving. I guess.
It was happening yesterday when we were filming.
Yeah.
In the city,
Yeah.
they were all calling you DC.
Yeah, it's sort of
That's
weird,
cool.
but it's kind of cool. Yeah,
That's cool.
You know, you're not supposed to give yourself a nickname, but I did it by accident.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
It
so
worked.
but the thing was, I was like, well, let me just make it simple. And now I don't want to say it was the first, but I was early on in just kind of adopting my as my handle and just go with that because I felt like I'm buying into this Twitter thing, I'm buying into this internet thing. I may as well just make that my thing and just say, okay,
Keep it uniform and everything.
and then now I'm at DC in the City on like every social media platform. I have DCinthecity.com. I have DC in the City at my email. Like everything is DC in the City. I only trademark to DC in the City. And now I'm in the crypto space. I got the DCinthecity.eth. I got DCinthecity.crypto. So like I'm trying to more or less corner the market on that because that's my brand and it's just super easy. It's easy to remember. It's easy to say. And
Do you do crypto for like marketing purposes and like sales, or what's your crypto background?
well, first thing I do is ash in my hand.
You could just let it
Yeah.
fly. It's okay.
Oh, it's like those
Nice.
old restaurants where you could throw the peanut shells on the floor.
Yeah.
Miss that.
What's it? Lone Stars.
If
Yeah.
you can give me a spittoon, that'd be great.
Gotcha. Coming right up.
So crypto actually kind of found me. Now, one of the things that on Twitter I was noticing a lot was like NBA Top Shot and NFTs and things like that. And I'm like, well, what the hell is an NFT? What's this NBA Top Shot? They're selling me a highlight of LeBron James dunking a basketball. Like, what is this nonsense?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking into it more and more, and I'm like, well, what it actually is a way for a performance artist to sell their performance as like just like a painter would sell their performance. A painter performs with a paintbrush, and then they give you that performance. And you can sell it. But a person who's dunks a basketball as a performance, or hits a home run as a performance, or tells a joke as a performance, you can't give that. I can't have that, own that, or whatever. But now you can because an NFT is an opportunity for those people to put those things into digital form and then use them as a piece of art. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, this is really awesome. Let me try to get into this. But how do I, as a digital creator, sort of find my way in? And then one of the comics that I work with, one of my clients, got approached by an NFT company. And they just kind of like brought us right in. And as soon as I met with them and sort of talking to them and learned about their thing, they sort of embraced me. And now we're working really, really closely together. They're called Nifty Comedians. It's niftycomedians.io, best experienced on your Google Chrome browser. And you can go over and check out all of the different comedy clips. And basically what they are is the Comedy Central of the blockchain.
How long are they? And
They're small. Like an NFT clip, like a joke, it would be like one joke, like maybe 30 seconds. But the thing is, there's so many different forms of NFTs.
It would kind of be like TikTok, but a controlled and not free. Like, so what happens when you buy as like a buyer buy the NFT of the comedy clip? You could sell that, right?
Yes.
And it's based off of what that NFT is worth at the time.
Basically, what it is like it's your whatever your art is. Like if you were gonna, like I said, paint a painting, and you sell it for a particular price at a gallery. Now you get what the gallery takes their percent, and then you get the rest. and then as you perform in your career, if you get better or you get famous and you die or whatever the case may be, and that value increases, the owner of that painting can sell that painting and they get all the money.
Yeah.
The painter, you're fucked. But as a digital artist who makes an NFT, there's always that signature of the actual ownership, so you will get a royalty in perpetuity. So let's say, for example, you sell your like a clip from this show. Let's say, just for example, if you guys say anything funny,
Mhm.
then we'll
Never. They're not funny at all.
No, but like,
You hit
like, for
that right on
example,
the head.
If something
That's
if
a
we,
button.
If we have something here
Yeah.
and I could like make an NFT of like a little 15-second interchange that we have. And
I have a
Yeah.
question.
sell
I
it
have
for
a friend
50
that makes
bucks.
penguins,
Oh yeah,
like just different outfits on the penguins.
there you go. And then
Oh, yeah.
he sells it for $50, say for example, but it's all
Mhm.
cryptocurrency, and then he gets say 20% of that. So now if he gets super popular or famous or whatever, and somebody else sells that $50 thing for $5,000, he still gets his percentage off that. So it's a way for an artist to maintain their ownership
Oh,
and
wow.
royalties and not
Mhm.
get screwed out. So it's artist to owner direct.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
What does NFT stand for?
Non-fungible token.
Okay.
Yeah.
Know
It's-
that. You learn something new every day here on the Two
Yeah.
Clouded Mind show.
I just like skimmed the surface of crypto. Like I did the whole Robinhood Dogecoin thing, and I made a decent amount of money from it, like quick.
Sweet.
For
Nobody
me,
likes to show off.
it's just like something that I've been watching, and I was always like, "Fuck that," and then I had some extra money to, and I was like, "Listen, if I lost this, I'm okay with it."
Sure.
So I put it in there, and
That's
then
called privilege.
It's called gambling. is what
it's gambling. It's really a
It's called
gamble,
gambling.
and I don't gamble
But-
unless I'm okay with
Yo, but
losing
check
the
it out.
money.
The stock market is just white collar gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
you're
for
right.
sure. For sure.
I
Totally, all of that.
tripled my initial
Good
investment,
for you.
and that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and you don't have to get greedy. You take what you
Yeah,
walk
and
away.
I could have helped. Actually, I think I sold at the right time, but I fucked up and sold like in the middle of the mix because I was just like leaving another job and wanted security and not the gamble side of it. But when I bought back in, it was still pretty low, and I sold like 2 cents under the highest that it was. Like I
Nice.
was watching it every 5-10 minutes.
It
It's
starts
weird.
to
It's
get
like that. It
addicting,
gets
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather just go to the casino.
No, this is fun, bro. You can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
That's
true.
I
Yeah.
would really like just
And-
rather just go. To
and
the
as
I
far
don't
as
know, I think
NFTs,
you have better odds on crypto.
I probably should. I don't know. If you guys want to steal my idea, it's cool. But I just want to tell you it happened right here, right now.
It's a recorded show.
Well,
so-
here's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
I'll make an NFT of this conversation.
Yeah,
So that way you own it and nobody can steal it.
I want to do something
That's
audio
smart,
related,
Dave.
and I want to do like cool animated versions of like a mixing console or just like a fader or a microphone and create characters in the audio world, because I feel like a lot of audio engineers or techs in general are also into NFTs,
Mhm.
and because it's in a niche that they're in, they'll be like, I'm drawn to that.
So
Yeah.
like a clip of music with a graphic, some sort of graphic that has
Mm-hmm.
a visual signature that
Yeah.
that corresponds to that musician. Or just to that particular
j-
song.
It could be anything. Like basically, it's not plugging myself at all, but I work in the audio industry.
Mhm.
He does
and
it every
I
episode.
want to make like characters,
What kind of characters?
like tech, like equipment, like a
Like a
mixer,
soundboard.
like a soundboard or a
Mhm.
microphone or I don't know, like anything related. Road cases. I want like customizable road cases that I can create an NFT with your logo on it
Mm.
or whatever, So like you could buy into the NFT and then like, is there a way to customize NFTs?
Not as a buyer. The NFT is created, it's minted, and it's immutable, so it can't be changed ever
Mhm.
after that.
And at that point, nobody's gonna want to buy an NFT of somebody else's company.
Well, see, the thing is, what you would more likely you'd be better off attaching the music
Mm-hmm.
to some sort of visual representation, and then have the visual representation be varied in a set. So you have like a 10-piece set
Mm-hmm.
of these matched corresponding visual representations, and then the music is also corresponding in some way. So that
Gotcha.
this is like, so basically what you're doing is creating like an EP
Mm-hmm.
of NFTs. So that their idea is that they want to be able to collect the whole thing. So like you'd make say a 6-song EP, and you.
So
create-
that would be an NFT as itself, and then it would have all these like children NFTs of like the contents of what that is displaying.
It could, because what you could do is you could make unlockable content. So, for example, an NFT could serve as like a ticket.
Mhm.
So, like you purchase the song,
Mhm.
and with each song you get like some art, you get artwork that you can download or whatever the case may be that comes along with it. And then let's say you get all 6 songs on the album. Once you collect all 6 of them, that entitles you to yet something else, like say a real ticket to.
Oh,
to
like
a live
Yeah.
event.
unlockables.
Right.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. Like
Shit.
there's a
Real life gamer score, bro.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
fucked.
You're collecting
You
to
guys
get
know
something
Kings
of
even
Leon?
cooler.
the band
Yeah.
Kings of Leon. They have this golden ticket. It's an NFT you can buy, and as long as you own it, you can go to any one of their shows for free. There's a group of comedians down in Philly called Haha for Hire. One guy named Mike Salvi at Mike Salvi, the Mike Salvi on Twitter. He has a Haha for Life ticket.
Mhm.
So you buy this NFT, and if you can show.
But there's
it-
a
show-
cap on that, right? Like how many are created.
Well, yes and no. You can make them infinite. You can make a certain number. You can choose that.
These golden tickets, are these infinite? No,
That I don't
right?
know. I
That
don't-
wouldn't be
I
smart.
don't know. I'm not a big Kings of Leon fan. I actually made an NFT that if you own it, you never have to go to a Kings of Leon show.
Yeah.
So-
For like
So
boyfriends
I feel like
and
that's
stuff.
my cash.
Yeah,
cow.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny. I'm making a lot of money on that one.
That's awesome.
So, but the point, the idea is, it's what it is really. It's like what you want to offer is utility and sort of some kind of membership, that
Mhm.
type of thing where I have this
Exclusivity.
yeah,
People want
it's-
that.
right,
Like
and they
like a
wanna be able
digital
to-
Patreon.
Mhm.
Sort, but it's not even like Patreon though, because this is an actual transacted piece of art.
Mhm.
Patreon is like a support, and they're donating to you and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And like,
Yeah,
But no, this is an actual piece of art. Like this is a product you made,
yeah.
and it's right from you, the producer, to the consumer,
hmm
and there's no disconnect there.
Like those characters you were showing me, and it's like each character looks a little bit different.
The
And
the color,
the, like dinosaur thing.
Oh, right. Well,
Yeah.
there's like these there like it's called a PFP, profile picture. It used to be called like a a avatar or whatever. Now like a company will make generative art, so they'll tell a computer, like your buddy with the, what did you say, penguins?
hmm
He'll tell the computer, this is what the penguin looks like, and the penguin can be one of these 6 colors, and it can have one of these 9 hats, and it can have one of these 7 things in its mouth, and blah blah blah. So they give it all the different possible combination, like options to the computer, and then the computer makes 10,000 of them randomly. And once the computer makes them, they'll never be like, I think they either destroy the program or the program is never run again. And
It's self-destruct.
Yeah. And then there's never going to be any more. So now there's a finite number of these penguins,
hmm
and as you look at them
With
now,
this signature attached to them.
correct, but each penguin is now different because they all have those different product options,
Mhm.
and some of them are more rare than others. So
Okay.
some of those penguins will naturally just randomly have become the super rare penguin.
It's like a
Because
Pokemon
it's the
card.
only
Yeah,
penguin
with
those
diamond
glasses.
beaks.
Okay.
Penguins with diamond
But
beaks.
every penguin, like 60% of the penguins have black penguin fur,
Mhm.
but only one penguin has those glasses. So that's the super rare
Okay.
Yeah.
penguin. So it's just it's like collecting baseball cards or Pokemon cards or anything like
Mhm.
that. It's just one of those things. So like that's another. I mean,
That's what
there's
I
so
want to
many
do
different-
with these road cases. I want to have options to fill them with contents.
Yeah.
And like, mixers or XLRs or whatever, and just like generate something to fill your case, as an audio engineer.
That's cool.
Like your
That
tour
is-
pack.
Yeah,
That
I
is
like that.
interesting, but the thing about that is that what does that give you? Like, what do I take away from that as the owner? I only have what you're suggesting is I
Mm-hmm.
have this digital case with all these digital items in it.
Yeah.
What do I use that for?
Yeah, it would be like sold as art. So
Sure.
like as an engineer, like it'd be cool to have like some of the industry standard equipment compactable inside a case, and it's basically generated at random. So if like you might get a case with all XLRs and cables and maybe like a camera or something, but this guy has like an acoustics rig,
So you'll be trading among the people.
Yeah, just as-
create a community. That's
a
dope.
community.
Yeah, I mean that could absolutely work. And then like you said, there could be unlockable content. You complete a case by getting such and such a set.
Yeah, you could
complete, and
create
then
your
all of
own
a
tour
sudden
truck.
You get like a T-shirt from you guys.
That's
what I mean?
cool, too.
Just simple
Yeah,
like that. Like
you want
it's one
some
of those
sort
things
of
where
like
you
handout,
yeah,
like something
at some
tangible.
point,
Tangible,
right?
Yeah.
At
yeah.
some point, you want to be able to connect with that person on a real
On a real
level.
level, yeah.
Right, because it is like again, it's utility, it's exclusivity, all that stuff, but it's membership also, and that's the thing that I think the people who are succeeding in the space right now, even though it's early in the space, or it's relatively first 20%, say.
Yeah.
The people who are succeeding are the ones who have that utility, and who, you know, there's more membership. There's more. Okay, I got this.
That
cool
could be like
piece
a
of art, great.
free piece of gear for the month
Yeah.
of, you
or
know.
whatever, right? Or
Yeah.
if, like, say for
Ooh,
example,
or they get to like book you for something.
No,
or
like
just
imagine like we were giving away these
Yeah,
Shure
yeah.
microphones, not a sponsor, you know,
Mhm.
or
like
sponsorship
after.
gives like a percentage. You know,
Mhm.
it's that type of thing. Like, you get a percentage off for this, that, and the other thing. If you that type of thing. That's
It hooks
exactly
them
the way
in.
it works, right? Where it's,
That's
that way,
cool as fuck.
That way, because you're producing the NFTs, you're
Mhm.
now more monetizable to a sponsor.
It's marketing.
You have
Mhm.
more. There's if you're a successful race car, if you're winning a lot of races, people are going to want to put their logo on your race car. But
Mhm.
you have to. You're the one. It's your responsibility to determine where the places on your race car are that are good for stickers.
Mhm.
You know, so you got to be like, okay, I can't waste an inch on this car. I got to figure out, okay, how do I monetize that spot? How do I? So
Mhm.
that's what it's all about. It's about how do I figure out every single way to touch all the different aspects of my business
Yeah.
and let them, you know, share with me.
Mm-hmm. Create a monopoly within your own business. Like collect all
A
the
network monopoly.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the badges.
I see your wheels turning
Mhm.
right now.
This is fucked up. I have so many things to think about constantly, and this is now another thing.
My bad.
Yeah, my brain is always just like
So let's talk about comedy then. Let's
Yeah.
just change it, lighten it up a little bit.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. I'm
Alright.
down with that.
So Maria has been kind enough to join my comedy team. She's my second camera operator
Yeah.
Sick.
with no camera experience whatsoever.
Well,
Running through the streets.
camera.
Filming experience. That's true.
35 millimeter I've done,
Yeah,
but
photo.
not
Photo,
not
yes.
a
Video, not yet.
Yes.
But so
Yeah.
far, it's really
Mhm.
good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We're producing a show called New Joke City at New Joke City TV.
Mhm.
And it's focused on stand-up comedians. So
Nice.
we feature a new comedian every episode. Our host Ryan Patrick, at Ryan Patrick Comic.
Who is
He-
so funny, by
yeah,
the way.
he's great. He's great. He's really personable guy. He's really nice. He's like the quintessential host of a show where he's just like easy to talk to, and he really pays attention. You know, he like some hosts, they're just waiting to ask their next question, or they're waiting to do, but instead he absorbs and he'll give you back. You know what I mean? He'll go with you. So what they'll do is they'll meet in the city somewhere, and he's got, you know how like when you go to the city, there's like always buskers performing on the
Yeah.
street,
Mhm.
and very often they'll have like a little rolling cart with their speaker or their instruments or whatever.
Mhm.
So my
A
partner,
lot of famous musicians became that way, actually.
yeah, I mean, you know, and some
A
do
lot
that
of comedians too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
right, yeah. So we've heard, and so my partner, the guy who actually came up with the original idea, his name is Rich Dugan, at Rich E Dugan. He was like, he was in the city one day and he saw a guy with a speaker and a microphone on a stand on the thing. He's like, well, that guy's either a preacher or a stand-up comic.
Mhm.
So he's like, well, what if? So our host has a little speaker and a microphone and a stand and stuff on the little rolling cart, and he meets with the feature, and they walk through the city and just talk about the feature's story, their journey to the stage, past, present, future. You know, how
Mhm.
did you get into comedy? How do you build your material? Where do you know, where would you like to go? Is comedy it for you, or do you want to do more? So on and so forth. We just learn about their entire thing.
Yeah.
As we are walking through the city to a spot in the park or on the street or whatever, and then we set up all of our gear. And the comic does, like, Ryan will open like it's a real comedy club. Hey, thanks for coming to the comedy
Which
show,
is
guys.
great because
And
he
you're-
warms them up.
Yeah, like
You know?
Yeah, it's not just somebody
filmed
like,
at
"Hey, guys."
outside of
Right.
a
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
We still filmed on a subway platform outside of a McDonald's.
Outside of Yankee
Yeah, outside of
Stadium.
Yankee
And do you
Stadium,
need
yes.
permission from these
That's
places,
sick.
or are you just
I mean,
Curious.
Technically,
Yeah.
you're supposed to get
Permits and
permits
stuff,
and stuff like that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, we went into the city. Rich and I went into the city beforehand. We went to all the places, like we went to the precincts. We did the things we were supposed to do,
Mhm.
and then we went to the parks and talked to all the performers in all the different parks. We're like, "Do you guys have a permit? No. Do you guys have a permit? No.
Mhm.
Do you guys have a permit?" Nobody had permits, and
Yeah.
nobody ever had a problem with it.
and
That's
nobody
like, you know what?
bothers them.
Try it out.
Felt like a gambling, man. So we went for it, and so far we've been.
If
been
not, that
pretty
would
good shape.
create its own comedy if it didn't. Like, oh, you
Right.
guys
Well,
can't be here
yeah.
right
And
now.
what's the worst
Yeah.
they do? They just shut
Say,
you down for the
please
day.
stop.
Yeah, just
Right.
shut you down.
And we just
or-
move somewhere else. and
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
The
so-
city's huge.
But
Exactly,
I mean, like,
exactly, and you can just fade into the.
Yeah, there's so many little
chaos,
nooks
you
and
know?
crannies
Yeah.
everywhere.
man.
Like there was people boxing. We were in Washington Square Park. It was like a circus over there.
Yeah,
constantly.
it is.
And there was
That's
They were
people,
like
amazing.
old school boxing,
literal
like with
boxing
their-
gloves, like yeah,
Nah,
like
you see?
like not really athletic, so nobody was gonna
Yeah,
get hurt.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like we're like, well, if those guys are punching each other, so to speak, we're okay.
Yeah,
telling
you're
some
fine
jokes
telling
over here.
jokes.
Yeah.
So they do the busker. We set up our busker set. The feature will do like I don't know what that was, like 5 minutes Please silence all cell phones. And so the comic will do like 5 minute set, right? And then that's the public performance, and then the third act of the show is for the comedian to perform in a club, their actual set, polished with a real audience, like the whole night. So you get the chance to see the juxtaposition between like the rough sort of building it out, like working on it, like seeing what's going to happen, unpredictable nature of being in public versus actually being on stage, the polished thing, and then we put them all together, and those are our episodes.
Yeah, the extremes are cool.
Are these pop-ups, or are they scheduled? Like, when you know you're going to film something, do you like get it out there, or you just do it?
We've been filming pop-up because, more or less because, I mean, number one, it's hard enough to coordinate in Manhattan or anywhere else, the 4 or 5 of us to be able to get there and do the thing and not make
It's a pain in the ass for the 3 of us.
Right. So, and so for us to complicate that by trying to like bring a crowd, and then we also like the aspect of have it being completely unexpected to the people.
The
real,
surprise
like, really
aspect.
and just see how people react. And so far, we've done 8 episodes, and only one crowd was rowdy. They were like ugly rowdy. We had to like shut the show down for a hot minute.
Oh no!
And kind of there was a drunk bum got real
He
rowdy.
tried to kiss our comedian, which did actually happen.
Yeah, the comedian did kiss him on the cheek though.
Oh, okay.
But we were like,
anyway,
you don't have to worry about COVID anymore.
Yeah, because he's dead.
Wow.
Jeez.
But yeah, it was a little rowdy. So we decided to stay away from Washington Square Park.
That had the craziest performers.
But the other thing, for sure. It's like a complete circus there, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is like I don't want to give anybody any heads up because I don't want anybody to know that we're going to do it, because then if somebody has something, they want to get wise or get in or something like that, because the guy, I got a joke, I want to tell a joke. Well, go tell your joke.
Or the girl that was telling him to suck her dick.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
These are real things.
These are real.
Yeah, there's a girl screaming, "Suck my dick" from the back.
Like how do you handle that if you're filming something and somebody comes up and they're trying to get on camera and you just shoo them away, or
it's not like you could have security and have her removed.
See, I'm security in that event, because like I'm the one person who doesn't really have a job at that point. Like the camera's set up, Ryan is the host, we got to keep him away, so that's my job to like kind of keep control of what's going on.
I'm available.
Oh my gosh, you totally should be our bouncer.
If he saw you coming and not me, he probably would have walked away quicker. But I just had to walk up to the guy and just tell him, Well, the first thing is I did let it go on for a little while, because I do want, like, we knew going in that if we're just showing up in the middle of the street, so there's gonna be something that's like something's gonna happen, and we kind of want that.
You want that.
Right. So I let it go on for a while, but that one time it just never. There was no end in sight. Like it was not gonna.
It becomes
like,
not
the comic,
funny.
Like the comic was doing great for a while, and then it just like the crowd just was like, okay, we're not playing along anymore. And they just felt emboldened, I suppose. And I was just like, all right, we're just gonna shut this down. So I shut it down real quick. I got on the microphone, I shut it down. The guy walked away. Everybody kind of, and then the comic was able to more or less finish up, but the one girl was still yelling in the background. But again, that is so different from every other episode that we shot. That's great. Like you kind of do want that, because at the same,
it's
on
drama.
one hand, it's real. And on the other hand, we did have he was the right comic too. We just got luck. We lucked out. He was the perfect. If somebody was going to get a rowdy crowd, it was this guy, because he's real like sharp and real like he didn't take any shit from anybody. So he was just like whatever. He's like after we walked away, he's like, I really love not giving people what they want. And I was like, well, that was great. Then we're all going to go to sleep well tonight.
And then yesterday we had that weird episode.
Well, yeah, a guy. We had a female comic, and she was wearing yoga pants?
Yoga pants.
No.
What did you keep calling that? No, I said leggings, and
leggings.
You were like yoga pants. I'm like, no, they're not. Yeah. They're leggings.
I'm not familiar with the term.
I call them yoga pants.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were.
They were super tight. Whatever.
Super tight.
This
And
guy,
so he was like, I
she's a
want
cute
your
looking
pants.
girl.
And he goes, I want your pants. And she's like, well, not while I'm wearing them, because she was another one, quick on her feet. She's like, not while I'm wearing them, sir. And then he goes, come here, bitch. So Ryan, my host, looks at me like it's happening again. His face was like, he was like, oh no. So I just looked at Ryan. I was like, we're good. So I'm just let it go, because I know Tara real well.
Well,
So
she's
just-
from the Bronx.
She's from
like...
she was on her home turf. So she
I would've been
I'm not gonna
like-
say what she said, but she sang them real good.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
like the guy, she got him so well that he didn't even know how to respond. So
Yeah.
he just kind of like you could see him like doing the math on what she had said to him.
Yeah, and then he just got up and walked away.
She
Good
really
for
nailed
her.
It. Yeah, she
Yeah.
really nailed
Wow.
it. But it's like so good of a burn, I probably can't even use it. In the
I-
episode.
If you buy
I
3 of my
cringed. I, like-
NFTs, you can get these pants.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
If you show me the entire set of NFTs, I'll
Yeah.
take these pants off right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. But the thing is, again, we knew going in because that's part of what we want, you know. Because then because that also shows you as a stand-up comedian. Cause you've seen stand-up comics on stage,
Yeah.
and they'll do crowd work and they'll walk around the room like, hey, with the glasses on, and they'll have a bit about glasses, and you're the guy who's wearing glasses. They're going to do their glasses bit,
Mhm.
and you're the guy who's got the tattoos, so they're going to do the tattoos.
Yep.
They look like they're really good on their feet. But a lot of it might be rehearsed. We don't know.
Mhm.
But in this situation, you can't fake that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that really separates the people who have it written and rehearsed and they're good on stage from the comics. You know,
Yeah.
people who really are like bleeding it and
Mhm.
like living it. And so it's been a really nice,
Mhm. Nice
like
balance.
dynamic, right? Where we can see all these different people and the ways that they.
Well, street comedy is like it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
It's like its own venue at that
Oh,
point.
for sure, and especially when the people have no idea that it's coming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
best. That's
Right.
the best.
Dave, do you
Imagine
want
just
to tell
living your
them?
life.
Do you want to tell them Rich's story about why he's doing this?
I don't remember Here's the funny part. We've heard the story a bunch of times, but I don't remember the name of the comic. Do you know?
Charles Burnett or something like that.
I don't know.
All right,
You
never
could say
mind.
anything to me. And I won't. So there was a guy. There was like an old school comic in like I guess the 70s or something
Yes.
who used to perform in Washington Square Park.
Like
Okay.
you know
And he
the
was,
fountain that's there.
Yeah.
So it was like empty and filled with garbage back at that point, like disgusting park that you did not want to hang out in. He used to go down in the pit of garbage and
What?
perform comedy, and
Wow.
people
He
would
used
like
to
sit
kill.
around and watch him.
He was apparently up for the spot on Saturday Night Live that Eddie Murphy ended up getting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And because the problem was this guy couldn't read. He couldn't read cue cards,
Oh, it
and
sucks.
Eddie Murphy
Yeah.
could. This guy was a tremendous comic, but he couldn't read cue cards.
Mhm.
So he ended up not getting the gig. But he's like this, like a legendary street comic
Yes.
whose name we can't remember.
Yeah.
And,
I think it
because
was
we're
that.
frauds.
Yeah.
But that was one of Rich's inspirations for the project. And then again, he saw the guy with the rolling cart, and he was like, "Let's do this thing." And then, you know, he and I crossed paths because when I stumbled into comedy during the pandemic, I was on this. I was invited to like sit in on a Zoom open mic night,
Okay.
and Rich was one of the comics on the open mic, so he was introduced to me and what I had been working on. He was like, "Well, this is the guy who could make this show happen." So he reached
Wow.
out to me. Yeah.
That's
The
cool.
world opened up in so many ways. You just blew my mind. Like you said, Zoom open mic night.
Yeah.
That's
cool, right?
incredible.
Do it right
You didn't
from
know
your
that
couch.
happened?
No.
Oh, I'm about to blow your
Mhm.
mind back into your head.
They had all
Virtual
kinds of
3D
like virtual
open mic nights.
Virtual what?
3D.
Virtual 3D open mic night. We just did one the other night.
I know they had like
Crypto-
virtual smoke sessions with
crypto
like Tommy
stand-up.
Chong and stuff
Wait,
like
what
that.
do you
Yeah.
mean 3D?
I had
Oh, with the-
virtual
with the-
sketch nights. The
That's
Dr. Sketchy that I used to do in Asbury Park,
Uh-huh.
like they had live like figure
That's the comedy
like
club.
models that would come on the screen, and you could like everyone was drawing. You could see everyone with their sketchbooks
That's
like
fucking
drawing.
cool.
Yeah,
Dude,
it was great.
how do you create something like that? Like you
I didn't
create
create
your
this.
own
This
venue.
is- This is Nifty Comedians. They created this 3D venue. I'll run it back for you.
So you could
sign
basically
in.
build your own room and then
Yeah,
show your own
come on.
content.
They
It's
built.
like a virtual tour.
Yeah, they built their
you know?
room. They built their club in the metaverse, in the crypto metaverse,
Mhm.
and you sign in and you attend the comedy club. You attend the comedy show.
And how do you view it on your phone or?
on wherever, yeah. You just do it on your
Yeah.
computer. You're sitting,
Hook it up to
chilling,
your
watching
TV,
watching the
whatever.
little people. You walk around the room like a video game,
Mhm.
like a first person or a third person.
I'm blown away right now. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's legit. And there's people from like all over the world can go to these.
So
things.
can we just sell like a room, like create our studio,
Yeah.
and then just have us sitting like on the TV of somebody to watch our show virtually?
Mhm.
Shut up.
100%,
that's crazy.
100%, man.
That's
Yeah, we
crazy.
need to do this immediately.
Uh-huh.
Twocloudedminds.eth.
Yeah?
Twocloudedminds.eth.
Do you just have to like pay somebody to do it? Really?
You can pay me and I'll get it done for you.
We'll talk after
I
the
know
show.
a guy.
I got. I know a guy. I am a guy.
Sweet. Right.
Cool.
You're
Yeah, man,
I'm
if
sitting
you
here
guys-
picturing like you need like big virtual reality helmet and stuff because
right on
I
your
kind
computer
of
screen.
want to fuck with that. That's kind of cool.
Well, that's coming. I mean, that exists now.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
those virtual. You've seen those things where you have like you're standing on the treadmill
Mhm.
and it's like around your waist and
Yeah.
you can walk in all directions and you have the whole thing on. It's like that's happening
Really?
now. Yeah, because you're in a total 3D virtual world. You got it's like that Oculus Rift stuff, except you're not running into your living room,
The
TV.
door, yeah.
They have you on like it's like a treadmill with like a stand around you or whatever.
That's
like a brace
fucking
around you,
rad.
and you can turn and you can swivel and turn, and the treadmill reacts to your feet. So and it's the whole
I saw somebody
Crazy,
make
right?
one
I
where,
wanna- I
like, I
wanna-
saw
I
a
wanna
video
play.
of somebody watching TV and then watching TV in like a different living room virtually, and it's the same show on.
Now that I'm sorry, but that's probably going to happen a lot too.
What's that?
People doing the same shit that they would have been doing not virtually. You know what I mean? Like that's it's going to get that far too. You know what I mean? Like that's a little
Yeah.
too far. Like okay, you can sit in your house and watch TV, or you can sit on your computer watching yourself watch TV.
Oh my
Yeah,
god! Shut
that's
up!
like
No.
What the hell?
mind-blowing.
What?
Exactly. That's science. At that point,
That's
science
awesome.
will have gone too far.
Oh
You just
my
melted
God.
my brain. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like,
Imagine
that's
watching
some
yourself-
Black Mirror shit, man.
yeah.
It's Black
Imagine
Mirror. But
like
it's
watching this
happening now.
room. Like,
Fucking-
yeah.
It's happening right now.
Out
And there's
of
people
body
right now, like my
experience.
parents, my parents, they're like as blown as your minds are.
Mhm.
They're trying to explain
Yeah.
this stuff to my mom and
Oh
dad.
yeah.
You know, and they're like, David, what is this?
David. Oh
Is
my
this-
God.
Is this stable? Is this is this okay? Are you do you still have are they taking your stuff? Are you getting paid for this? Is this real money? How does a person buy cryptocurrency?
I
You
asked
know?
you that last night. I was like, do you have to go onto like an app or a bank? Yeah.
It's like a bank transaction.
But only
change it.
on certain platforms you can get certain things.
Correct. And then, certain things can be spent in certain ways. Like there's certain platforms where you can only buy things in ETH or
Mhm.
Ethereum. Certain things you can only buy things in, like for example, the Nifty Comedians is on Matic. It's just like a different cryptocurrency. But the thing is, you can just easily transfer your currency. Once you have the cryptocurrency, you can transfer it from one type.
Do you
one
have to go
token
through?
another
Do you have to
token.
go through like a series of transfers sometimes?
Sometimes, but not once you have your wallet set up and everything. No.
Mhm.
If you wanted to just like do it right now as a person who's just like buying crypto with your credit card to go buy an NFT, because you don't need a wallet necessarily to buy an NFT. You just buy it with a credit card,
Mhm.
and then that's when you go through the transaction where you make the purchase with the credit card. Technically, they purchase the cryptocurrency for you, and then it makes the purchase with the cryptocurrency. So you could do that,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not like once you have your shit set up, you just work with cryptocurrency.
So you could just deposit money into your wallet from like your credit card at some point, and have like.
Mhm. Yeah. It's like
Gotcha.
it's just like a bank transaction
Mhm.
would take place.
And
So
then
you-
after you have each type of currencies, you can pay or accept different types of currencies. So it's like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Once you make that connection, you make that
and
connection.
it's decentralized, so there's no like exchange rate. So somebody in China or Russia could pay you, and you're both talking in terms that are the same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then like Maria, I think asked last night, does it fluctuate?
Yeah.
And the answer technically is yes. Like the value of an ETH will fluctuate, sure, but that's only because the dollar is fluctuating, not because the ETH is fluctuating.
Mhm.
It's like how many dollars is the ETH worth, not how many
If you're
ETH is the
still
dollar worth.
accepting ETH, then you're
I mean, it's
understanding
kind
the
of,
terms that come with it, whether it's more or less at the time that
Because
you
you
purchase
know that
it.
Yeah.
eventually, I'd rather have whether one ETH is worth $3,000 right now
Mhm.
or $4,000 right now. I want it because eventually it's gonna be worth 6 or 7 or 10.
Yeah, or less, but you don't
The
know
same
that.
thing with Bitcoin
Mhm.
or less. I mean, theoretically, sure.
Yeah.
Mom.
you think about like when you go to Europe and the dollar amount changes too.
So when I when I
That's
look
always
at crypto,
fluctuating.
Well, Matic is worth more than $1. When I first signed up for the thing, they were like, "Okay, set up your wallet, blah blah blah." I'm on the video chat. The CEO of the company is like, "Okay, I'm gonna send you some Matic for your wallet," and I'm thinking to myself like, "Okay, Matic, like, sure, what's that?" He said, "Well, it's actually worth more than $1." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Huh.
Exactly. I was like,
Nice.
because at first he tells me, I'm like, Matic. I'm like, You know, like, sure, you know,
Mhm.
Doge. What else are you gonna send me? You know.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, it's actually worth like $1.35, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, I better check
something.
myself real quick and like really kind of like take this seriously.
Mhm.
And the more seriously I've been able to take it, and the more I've been like, so I'm really learning myself. I'm probably only a couple of weeks ahead of you, scratching the surface, But
Mhm.
I've like dove in head first because I'm kind of like buying in full force. But I think that there's a pretty clear direction that things are moving in, and it is crypto direction. So
A lot of people see that, and understanding it, whether it becomes prosperous or not, is still something that was violating. That's fucking my ear. I just heard him just sip.
I can
Yeah.
go on for
Blah, 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 blah.
2 weeks
Yeah.
about how gross you are. So, you drinking water.
Yeah, like that
yeah,
Planet
the
Fitness
water
water in
sounded
my
weird,
bottle.
but he smells good.
Yeah, exactly. But I just like I don't know. It's something new to learn, and
Yeah.
it's like another avenue to make money, which I think is great.
Absolutely, and I think that the earlier you sort of like adopt that or like accept that, the better off you are. Because the way I explained it to my parents, I'm like, okay, so the internet is the internet, right? It's the information superhighway. You get that,
Mhm.
like, wow. Okay, well, the blockchain is like a really super new rodeo drive that's there, and everything on there is super exclusive and super dope. And there's not a lot of businesses on there right now. People are rushing to build their business on this really dope rodeo drive, and the first one there has a better chance to have their building set up and their fucking products stocked, so that when the general public finally starts to populate this place, starts to go shopping there, you're the most established one that's doing what you do.
Mhm.
So like Nifty calls themselves the Comedy Central of the blockchain because
It's a virtual world,
Yeah.
essentially.
well,
Like,
yeah, I mean
You
this
could
is
buy
a
virtual
world.
real estate,
Yeah. Oh, very much.
and
that's,
people are
that's
doing that right now.
wild stuff. Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can get like a parcel of land and like build things on it and so on and so forth. It's limitless.
That's insane.
Weird. He's buying a piece of the
It's like real
internet.
life Minecraft in a way.
Yeah.
I'm good on
I'm pretty stoned.
this. I've been stoned. I'm just drained.
I'm listening to you guys talking. I'm just like,
Just trying to, but you're hanging with it though. I mean, you're in there,
I'm trying.
just trying to absorb
It's
it
It's
a
all.
it's
It's
a
a
hard
lot.
conversation
It's
to
a lot.
have, and it's a hard conversation to receive.
Yeah,
For
to wrap
sure.
your mind around.
For sure.
Totally.
Because it's like
Yeah.
you don't have anything.
It's not
In your
tangible.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be though, with a certain amount of NFTs, you can have something tangible.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Exactly.
You have, and that's the biggest thing. Like, you guys know Des Bryant, the former NFL receiver. He just dropped his NFT collection recently, and it comes with like the utility of that is if you and now these are incredibly expensive.
They sneakers.
No,
No, more
It's-
than that.
if you own the NFT, you get a ticket to a Dallas Cowboys home game for the next 3 years,
Mhm.
a ticket to a Brooklyn Nets game for the next 3 years, an invitation to Dez's birthday party for the next 3 years, and then like a couple of other like special things. So it's like, yeah, you have this digital piece of art, but it also
But with
entitles you this membership
Yeah, all
to
these
this
perks.
exclusive, so on and so
Mhm.
forth. So that's, I think, your angle.
Yeah.
That's your angle right there, is to not only have the digital artwork, which needs to be dope,
Mm-hmm.
but there needs to be a like some sort of a membership aspect to it. So like where like why
Mm-hmm. But at that point, it's a one-time use of an NFT.
well
right?
3 time for that purpose. But yeah, but the thing is, the way when he drops it at X a price. But
Mhm.
now as it becomes more popular, I could, as the person who purchased it, resell it and make my profit on it, and then let somebody else enjoy
For
it.
a higher price, and then the original creator gets the
their
percentage.
royalty, right? And I just did it as an investment transaction.
Kind of like the See Here Now when the guy was like, not going to See Here Now. I bought these tickets for $200, selling them for $4.
He was only
Oh.
selling them for 2. He bought them for 4. And he was selling them for 2.
I thought it was
That's
reversed.
bad business.
Yeah, that
No.
sucks.
That's bad. That guy's,
Yeah,
that
people
guy's
want that.
not smart.
That's the opposite of what you want.
Yeah.
But yes,
That was just him being.
can you
sad.
sell it for less though?
I'm
Like
sure.
an idiot?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
But then
can.
one
But
of
then
the
the
NFTs.
person would still get the royalties for that dumb price.
So one of the NFTs I put on Nifty, one of the jokes or one of the promos that I had put together for New Joke City Comedy Show, got purchased. I put it up for 25 Matic. Matic. And somebody bought it for 30 Matic. I don't know why, and then relisted it for 15. Now I'm guessing they just did it to see if they could, like, to try the process out. I guess I don't know the real reason. But I don't care because I have the Matic now, so like it doesn't matter. And now every time it gets resold after that, I'm gonna get like whatever they want to do. That's fine. So, but like,
But does that fuck
people
you
do
now?
weird stuff.
Because then people see it for a lower price, and then
because they've seen it anyway.
yeah.
'Cause the thing is, you can make the NFT,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the official jam.
Hmm.
But then you could like post that on Twitter and show people it, or Instagram or whatever, and show people it. Be like, yo, this is my NFT. Go buy it over here, because there's only one official one.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you mint it, now you can show it. Like I have NFTs that are on my phone that I plan to use, that I can't, like, I can show you, but I could never like text it to somebody because they could mint it before I mint it.
Right.
Once it's minted, that's the real one.
Yeah.
So then after that, you can promote it anyway.
But
you
if
want. You can
everybody
advertise
sees
any
it,
way you want.
like publicly,
Mhm.
does the actual NFT lose its value?
No, it probably becomes more valuable because more people
People
see
know
it,
what
it's
it
more
is.
popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want more people as many people to see it as possible. Know that your shit is out there. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's just like anything. It's like a painting. If you made a painting, you want as many people to see it as you can, because maybe they can't own that painting, but they want to try buy one of your other paintings.
And you can make endless amounts of NFTs.
Endless. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's the future, bro. It's the future, and it's something that like you should definitely look into with the industry that you're in, and that idea is really, really dope. So I think it's something that you should definitely look into.
Can you
And you're
change
all on the same level.
what you accept and don't accept, like on the fly, as far as like?
Which type of coin?
Mhm.
Accept them all. That's my advice to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, accept them all. Like at this point, accept them all. Like I was telling Maria yesterday, if somebody offers to pay you in Bitcoin or
Take
fucking
it.
any kind of coin, take that shit.
I can take it.
Take it and sit on it, because
That's what she said.
When somebody pays you,
Yeah.
when somebody pays you in like Bitcoin or like just say for example Dogecoin, it would have to equate to something.
Dogecoin, you don't take that. Shit.
No, obviously. Obviously, I'm just saying like it would have to equate to like real money at some point in the beginning transaction, correct?
There would have to be
Yeah.
a money value attached to it. Like you're not just
Mhm.
gonna give me any old something.
Yeah.
But I'd be more likely to say, for example, if you had real Bitcoin,
Mhm.
I'd be more likely to take less from you in U.S. dollars
Mhm.
to get that Bitcoin versus
Yeah.
you just giving me the dollars. If
Yeah,
you-
yeah.
Like I'll say, for example,
Mhm.
if I charge you $500 for something, if you give me $400 in Bitcoin, I'll be skipping away from you,
Yeah.
happy as a
Mhm.
fucking baby.
Right.
Like like that would be fine with me, because dollars are only going to be worth $1 ever. But
Mhm.
that Bitcoin
Has
potential, right?
Mhm.
Exactly,
Mhm.
and it's actual currency. It's not like investing in Robinhood.
No, because you can pay for things in Bitcoin.
right, where in Robinhood, like say for example, you invest in Bitcoin on Robinhood, you're just invested in it. You
Mhm.
can't you don't own that Bitcoin. You can't just take that Bitcoin and walk away with it. But
Correct.
if you have the Bitcoin,
You can only use it within that
now
app,
you're rocking
basically.
and rolling. Right, you can't even use it in the app. You're just invested in it.
Mhm.
It's just like owning Nike stock. You can't use the stock for anything. It's just it's a representative,
Mhm.
and then in order to liquefy it, you have to sell it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't ever actually use it.
Use it.
Like you can't buy a whole bunch of Nike stock and then show up at a board meeting. You know what I mean? On Robinhood, like, yo guys, what's up?
Yeah, yeah.
But although that would be dope to try. I mean, that would be dope to
You
try,
should.
right? You get you find a relatively small business, just buy a whole shitload of their stock on Robinhood and just be like,
Show
what's
up.
up?
Yeah.
I'm part owner.
Hey, you guys want to make some NFTs?
Yeah. Show me your Robinhood account.
Yeah, right. It's me.
Yeah. That's what I started on, I guess, and getting into it. And
I
that's
think
where
that's
I
what a
bought
lot of
the
people started.
Doge.
The pandemic made us all into traders, man. It just
Yeah.
forced people into doing things differently, and the people who were able to adapt to that and sort of move with that and roll with that were the ones who were able to continue to grow and be successful during the pandemic, because a lot of people just kind of rolled over and laid down and were
Mhm.
I'm done, this sucks, whatever, and let it get the better of them for whatever reason. Now, I personally am lucky because I was at the time I was working for a grocery store. I was working for a supermarket company, so like I had a job, like I was going to work every day.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I had to fall back on that a lot of people didn't. So I'm not ignorant to that, but I was fortunate enough to not sort of lose my focus. I was working on this gigantic project all of 2019. I'm traveling all over the country working on this thing I talked to you guys a little bit about before, and it stopped dead. Like so close to being done, but stopped dead. And I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do now? Like this sucks. Like, why does this happen to me? Like,
Yeah.
But then I'm like, no, like I'm just gonna figure it out.
It just postponed.
I put it on hold. We just put it on hold, and I stumbled into this comedy thing. Met this chick who wanted to do comedy skits and so on and so forth, and one thing led to another, and we put a bunch of skits together, went viral on TikTok, and then made a bunch of connections in the comedy world, and it's just been rolling and rolling and rolling, and just skyrocketing. Like the New Joke City show is evolved into a multi-city tour. Like we're going to be putting on a show in Manhattan, hopefully at the Broadway Comedy Club.
Nice.
And like all the comics that we're filming right now, we're going to put them all on one big bill. Because I'm thinking to myself, like I got all these comics and I'm doing all these episodes. Why don't I just put them all on a show?
We can film it in one night.
Yeah,
put a
6 show together, offer it to the club, and then film all their club gigs in one night, and just like kill multiple birds with one stone. So I pitched it to the guy at Broadway. He loved it, and then I have a connection in Philly, and he loved the idea as well. So we're going to try to shoot some episodes with some of those Philly comics, and then do a show down there. I got a guy in DC who loves the idea. We're going to try to do a show in DC. So like everything is just
DC and DC.
DC. It'll be DC and DC. Yeah,
Sick.
that would be dope.
Now, do you have tour dates?
Not
yet,
there's
or?
no dates yet, unfortunately, because there's a lot of moving parts. Because there's like a million comics that we need, and all of them, happily are working and getting real busy. They're all people who like are booked up. So I have this like schedule matrix of like all these dates
Who
that people are
is
not
not
available. It's like
available.
that. So I'm like trying to figure out. So like it's the dates are few and far between that everybody can do the thing, and then of course it's like my crew and stuff. Like my host has got a family and a kid and things. So it's like it's not just like.
It's like narrowing it down to the one
Yeah.
that makes the most sense.
Right. So there's a lot of moving parts, but we'll be able to roll those dates out and posting all that stuff at New Joke City TV, at DC in the City. So I'll be keeping people up to date on all those things as they come out. But the opportunities have just been stacking up, and then I didn't even mention We Stand this entire time, and that's another client that I've been working with, Tara Candace Tracy at Tara Jokes.
She is so funny.
Yeah, Kim Helm of Troy. It's at We Stand Comedy. They're a 2-woman comedy team. Tara does stand up. I believe Kim does some stand up as well. She's getting back out onto the stage, and they work on they have like a pilot that they're working on. They have all this stuff, and I produce like weekly segments for them. So like every week, every Wednesday, they do a new little. It's like Tara will do like a joke, like a 30-second joke or whatever, and I'll add graphics and sound effects and stuff like that. So
You
it's
change
like,
the camera views, keep it interesting.
yeah, like back and forth. So it's a cool little like segment. So she's able to do like her stand up bits and then create them as individual segments. So it's like joke,
Okay.
and break them down. So instead of doing the whole stand up set on the stage, now we're making them into social media packages.
Fun.
And then and she's the one who she was on stage. She crushed the show. Her grandmother died.
I know. That was
She
a crazy
crushed.
story.
She had to go from her literal grandmother being dead in the house to the show, crush the show, gets approached by the NFT company at the show. She's like, I gotta go. Just DM me. And so and she goes back home, the whole 9 yards. And so that developed into all this stuff. So now those individual segments are going to be created into NFTs. And so people will be able to own those segments that we're making as pieces of art and so on and so forth down the line. And We Stand is great. Like I said, I think every Wednesday they put them out. But.
Now, how does that work for every NFT sold? Like she gets a percentage essentially?
Oh yeah, well it's because she's putting it up. This is she has her own account, so to speak. Like I manage the DC in the City NFT account. She manages the Tara Jokes We Stand account. So she'll get the full price of whatever the full first purchase is, and then royalties in perpetuity after that.
Gotcha.
So you as the owner would be the same. You'd get the initial first price, whatever that is, and then in perpetuity, whatever. And you get to choose your royalty as well.
Gotcha.
Right. And like there's value in giving yourself a spectrum of price points as well. Because like I have some NFTs that are say $50, $60 because it's a full ass joke. Like the whole thing is produced in a certain way. But then there's like you can just do like a written joke, like a screenshot of like a funny tweet,
Mhm.
and that might just only be like $5, like $5matic or whatever it is, because ultimately my goal is to be in a situation where like you come to a New Joke City show, and you meet me, and you're like, hey, I downloaded the MetaMask wallet, I have the digital thing, I own one of your NFTs. If you own one of my nifty NFTs, I give you a free NFT too. And then once you collect that set, then you get like a New Joke City sweatshirt or such and such and so. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where I'm trying to sort of encourage the people to come with me. Come along. So and that's the same type of thing where it just builds and builds and builds.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's been a wild ride, man. Like the pandemic slowed a lot of people down. It sped me up, and then I left the supermarket job at the beginning of July. And since then, it was a leap of faith in a lot of ways. But you have to bet on yourself at some point.
Of course, yeah.
At that point, I knew I was ready, and it's been awesome ever since. Like awesome.
And it's not just you. Like
Good shit.
everyone
being
believes
here,
in it. The
like even being
Canadians-
here is to me like such a fucking awesome affirmation of the fact that I'm actually doing good shit. You know what I mean? So like, thank you
Thank
for
you.
guys for having me.
Thank you
because-
for coming and hanging out with us.
And we got shirts and cool stickers.
Yeah, I want to show the shirt real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
god, I'm dropping things. Boom.
There it is.
Oh
Sin
yeah.
City. Flip it around.
Check
There
it out.
There it is.
It says it all.
I know.
I'm
No,
a producer.
back of the sticker.
I
I'm
wear
a
that
producer.
shit all the time.
I'm a producer.
There you go.
That's awesome. I love that.
There you go.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us and taking time out of your
Anytime.
schedule.
Anytime is a blast.
And like you said, he'll be back. He'll be back soon to talk about more projects and this cool little project he's got going. But thank you guys so much.
Stay
Till next
clouded.
week, stay clouded.
Connect with the Two Clouded Mind Show. Follow them on Instagram and TikTok at @the__clouded_minds_show, at Two Clouded, the number 2 on Twitter. Get the Two Clouded Mind Show podcast wherever you get your podcast. And of course, subscribe to their YouTube channel and hit that notification bell.